me handle this, bitch.
Blow me.
And no burps this time. Hey guys, it's your favorite day of the week, Axeperts After
Dark.
After Dark. I'm Hugh Jazz, Dean DeVitri, also known as the Mind Freak.
And I am Hugh Janus, also known as Hannah Hacksaw, also known as Casper, also known as that bitch.
Girl, you're white. It's summertime and you're white. I was out in the sun for 7 hours the other day.
Yeah, because you can tan. I can't. I suck at tanning. My scalp burns, for Christ's sake.
That's pretty sad.
It is. It's unfortunate as hell.
Excuse me if I seem a little out of place here today. We just filmed a series.
Baked beyond belief.
I was going to say a series and not reveal it, but hey.
Oh, well. I don't know which will come out first, but we'll find out.
This will be out first.
All
it's
right,
totally
then.
fine.
It's too late.
Totally
Spoilers.
Cool.
You can cut it out.
I heard through the grapevine that you got a new job.
I did. I got a job at a specifically very well-known sex shop. I'm pretty excited. It's very interesting, I will say that. It's going to be a good job. I think it's going to be fun.
What was your first date like?
It was pretty chill. I mainly just got a tour. Didn't really get a lot of informational things on the products yet, but it seems pretty chill, pretty nice. Get a cool 40% discount, you know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying.
You know what I'm saying.
Sweetheart.
Sucking on the edges. But yeah, no, it's going to be pretty cool. I think I'm really excited. Business cash. I have to wear all black, which is great because it's all the clothes I fucking own.
Wait, let me guess.
Let me think.
That's awesome though, because it really sounds like just from your first day, what you were telling me earlier, it really sounds like that you've found a job that kind of flows with what you do here.
Exactly.
Because in case you guys don't know, or if you're not familiar with venue life, #venue life, am I right?
We both did this. That is so old.
If you guys aren't familiar with venue life, summer hours are usually pretty rough on axe throwing venues.
Yeah, it gets pretty dead.
You have to have other things sustaining you through the summer.
Yeah.
And obviously,
they ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine.
it's heartbreaking.
It is. It hurts my head.
Because no one wants to be inside.
Exactly. Everyone wants to be outside. I don't blame them either.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad you got like a second job. Though.
Yeah.
I know you were looking for one.
Yeah, I've been looking for a minute, and I'm kind of happy I finally found something that's going to be nice and chill. Like this. It's going to be this similar environment. Same thing. I think it's going to be really similar to Spirit Halloween minus all the chaos.
Yeah, well, because they're probably not hiring teenagers.
No.
If they are.
Yeah, if they are,
can
that's...
Can they?
Nope.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you have to be 18 or older to work at a sex shop.
17 and a half, don't try it.
Don't even think about
I think
it.
that's weird.
Really?
Yeah, you're 17 and a half, you're one day from turning 18, you can't be fired, but I guess they don't want a lawsuit, so I mean, that makes sense. That sounds fantastic, though.
I know.
You worked Thursday, though, this past week. How was that? Do you have a customer of the week? Because I have one, and it's fantastic.
Honestly, my customer of the week was that Vicky lady. She was great. Invited me to come swim on your rooftop. Vicky, shouting you out. You're the shit.
Is she from the area? Or
I think she says she travels for work, but she's in Columbus for a while, and apparently where she stays has a rooftop pool. And I was like, she goes, come swim when you want. I said, girl, sign me up. But she was great. She was super sweet, super awesome. We sat and chatted for quite some time, actually.
Yeah.
That was also the group that the one dude stayed until 15 after 10, and I'm like, let's go. I want to go home. Oh, yeah. I don't mean to keep you. Can I get a glass of water? I'm like,
you get your water.
I guess, but we'll sit here for about 2 sips.
My favorite thing is, like, when do you guys close?
Oh, my God.
It's like 10 o'clock. Oh, it's like 10:30. I'm like, yeah.
Put two and two together there, my man.
People just enjoying the environment so much.
Exactly. I don't think he was enjoying it. I think he was just...
A little tipsy.
You know how people get when they drink too much. Sometimes they're talkers.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I was a talker when I drank. And a crier.
You weren't bad like the guy I had on Thursday, though. I will say that. You weren't like that, going on, and I couldn't tell what the hell he was talking about, but I was like, cool, dude. Yeah. I'm here for it, but I'm also here to go home.
Yeah, pick up the kids for soccer practice, man. You know, like, let's go.
At 10:30 at night, I gotta pick up my kids from school, you know.
My favorite thing to do when we're working a Saturday, and there's, you know, maybe like a 10 o'clock booking or 9 o'clock, so we close at like 10:30, whatever.
Right.
Is to play the song "Closing Time" on repeat.
Or what's the one that you play sometimes? Not "Take Me Home Tonight." What is it?
Closing Time. Closing time. I know who I want to take me home.
Oh, is that what it's called?
Yeah,
I didn't know it was called Closing Time.
By Supersonic or Semisonic. It's something
Sonic.
Yeah, I'll play that. I think my record's 4 times. Yeah. I'll play that 4 times.
Yeah, I know. That is the one you play all the time.
And people are like, "Oh, I love this song." And then it takes someone in their group to be like, "Oh, they're closing."
I feel like we're going to have to get a very more straightforward closing song to play at the end of the night.
We'll make one and we'll patent it. We'll sell it to you guys. We'll sell it to bars.
We're closing! We're closing! We're closing! Just an alarm going off. We're closing!
Well, download it, you know?
Spotify, Apple Music.
But it always takes like a bar industry person or like a restaurant industry person.
Exactly, to know what that means.
Because as soon as you play that, they're like, we gotta go. Like, we gotta wrap up.
The one that I would always hear when I worked in like the food industry was "Take Me Home Tonight."
Eddie Money.
That one, yeah, the Eddie Money one. That one was one.
Slaps.
That song does fucking slap though. Now I'm actually, we're singing Eddie fucking Money. I don't know why all of a sudden that's making me segue into "Murder on the Dance Floor." You better not get the groove.
We interrupt this broadcast for Baked Beyond Belief.
That's all I know. Hopefully this magic trick works the first time, but I'm not going to do another take. It looks so bad.
Actually, you can't tell, so you're good.
Oh, really?
No.
Oh.
Fucking fraud.
Yeah. Today's special guest is Hannah Hockenberry. Sorry, I got axes on the brain. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm fine. We need to find one of him talking, because I swear to God, he sounds like he just had like half a Xanbar. Like every time he talks. Like Chris Angel, you know?
He kind of does, though. His dude's like slow to speak. He's like...
Warning. The stunts and illusions performed on this program were designed and tested by Chris Angel, a highly trained professional. These demonstrations are extremely dangerous and should not be attempted by anyone, anywhere, at any time.
It's fine.
Stunts and illusions. Illusions. You know, magicians only made that word to seem fancier. So it doesn't seem as assholes.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I'm an illusionist. Trickster, no. How dare you call my simple card trick a trick?
A jest.
It's an illusion. You ever see a mind freak kick your ass?
I know y'all know what movie I'm talking about. I ain't even gotta say it.
What about Vicky was so enticing and enchanting?
Honestly, she was the first person of the group to walk in, and she was like the first person for like 20 minutes. But she just instantly started talking to me, and we just stood here for like until some of her group started to show up. We sat there and talked for like 20 minutes. She was super cool, super chill. We talked about our dogs. We talked about her man, my man. We talked about all that kind of shit, and she was just cool, just nice and chill.
Just build that rapport. And
Yeah,
that shit.
yeah, just hanging out.
It's always the first person in the group that you can kind of tell.
Yeah.
If they're gonna be cool or not.
Exactly.
I had a group Saturday, which my customer of the week comes from that group on Saturday. But I had a few groups, man. So I can always kind of gauge on how my day is gonna go. If I walk to work and I almost get hit 3 times.
I love that. That's a gauge.
Yeah, I know it's
not once, 3 times.
Yeah, if I almost get hit 3 times, I know it's gonna be one of those days, right? Or if I'm driving and people are fucking stupid, it's going to be one of those days. Because I came here to get liquor and everything and stock up for the day. And then I was driving home and I had the right of way. And this guy at the intersection was trying to turn right. Even though I had the green, he pulled out in front of me. And I didn't let him in. Like, fuck you. Wait.
Exactly.
Like,
fuck off.
And so, I'm driving past him. He's inching forward. And he stops and he throws his hands up. Like, what the fuck? And it's just like, I was this close. I was this close to stopping my car
and
getting the fuck out. Like, Nothing pisses me off more than people who can't drive and have road rage.
And then get mad at you for what they did.
When I saw him go like this, I was just like, you motherfucker. Like, I'm
I am this close to a felony.
just throwing it in park and just being like, what? What? Have you ever done that?
What? Parked and about beat someone's ass?
Yeah.
No.
Oh, really?
I've wanted to on multiple occasions, but I was like, girl, you cannot go to jail.
I've done that once, and it's bad.
Oh, God.
It was an elderly lady, and she was just like very grumpy and angry at the world.
Grumpy little old lady.
And I was pulling into a parking lot, and she was like pulling out, and she didn't see me, and like cut me off. And I'm like, okay, cool. Like, she's elderly, it's not a problem.
Right.
Just let it go. And so I circle around to find a parking spot, and she follows me. Yeah.
Little old lady wanted the fame, bro.
Yeah. And so I park, and she gets out of her car, so she approached me.
Yeah. Oh my! This little old lady got some balls.
And she approached me, and she was like, "What the fuck do you think you're doing? Like, you fucking idiot! I was pulling out. I have a this, and this." You know, had like a little placard, you know. And I was just like,
This bitch gonna handicap me.
"Yeah." I'm just like, "Hey, man, I'm sorry about it. Like, didn't mean to do that, you know, but rightfully so. I had the right of way. Like,
Exactly.
you know, when you're backing out, you have to be mindful of people of coming
driving
in and out.
past you."
And she just wasn't having it. She was like, "Fuck you!" just very angry, and I was just like, "Okay, like."
Fucking pissed off, little old lady.
Rolled out my window, and then she parked, and I went into the store to grab receipt paper. Came back out, and she was still parked. And this time,
really was hoping you'd hit her.
yeah. Well, and this time I had to back out, and she backed out at the same time. So I'm just like, this old lady has nothing to do with her time. I'm probably the only interaction she gets. And she almost hits my car. Gotcha, bitch. And then so I'm like, no, fuck this. So I go back into the parking space, get out of my car. She's trying to back out. And she did back out. And I stood in front of her car, and I was like, get the fuck out. Like,
Get the fuck out, you're catching these hands.
I was just like, you deliberately did that. You're causing trouble. Like, just what the fuck's your problem?
Yeah.
And she was like, and I was like, get the fuck out. Just because you're handicapped doesn't mean I'm going to beat your ass. You know? Obviously, it was an elderly woman. Of course, I'm not going to fucking be a degenerate and beat a fucking woman like that.
You're handicapped, you're handy-capable, bitch. I'm getting you these hands.
But it's
Round 1. Fight.
just like the audacity, man.
No shit. Just shit starterness.
Just the audacity of it. Because, like, it kind of ties into something I'm going to say in a minute. Is like, you never know who you're fucking with.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, I could be a convicted felon, and you could just be.
You could have had
victim.
a gun. You could have been
know?
You could have been a serial killer, a kidnapper. There's a multitude of shit
Like,
that could have happened.
Like, that road rage just isn't worth it.
No.
But at my previous job at Penn Station, I learned a lot. Because that was like my first like real job.
Yeah.
And when I got promoted to manager, Josh, his name was Josh, he was a manager ahead of me, and he was like, listen, like, I'm going to give you some advice. You seem like a really nice kid. Like, here's what's going to happen. Because Penn Station is an open kitchen, meaning they can see your food while you cook it. I have flashbacks from that. Meaning you can watch their food while you cook it. And he was just like, you can be two types of managers. You can be the one that gets walked over by customers and just being a yes man and hate your life, or you can put your foot down and try to make things right but not be disrespected. And I was like, okay, yeah, cool. Like,
Right.
Like, thanks, man. You know, like,
Right.
right on.
Sweet.
And a few days later, we're working the lunch rush, and Josh takes the order because I was being trained on grill.
Yeah.
Right. Josh takes the lunch order, and he repeats it 4 times back to the guy because it was a complicated order for just one sub.
Yeah.
And he repeated it 4 times, and the guy was just like, yep, stop asking, yep. And he was just like, okay, I'm going to make this, like, it'll be out in like 5 minutes. So Josh takes the ticket, hangs it up, starts making it, everything's perfect. The guy's watching, like actively watching, like sticking his nose over the fucking glass and shit. And he puts it through the oven, and the guy's like, wait, stop. I did not ask for that. I did not want that on my sub. You can't read. And bear in mind, he's putting it through this oven that's like 450 degrees, right?
Yes.
And Josh looks at him and he was like, that's what you fucking wanted. I told you 4 fucking times what your order was and you said you wanted this. And he was like, no, I fucking didn't. I didn't fucking want that. Like, remake it. And Josh slams down the knife and reaches into the oven, bare hands. I mean, like a 400-degree oven. Takes a sub and throws it. Like, I mean, just throws.
Hocks that shit.
Throws that fucker at the glass. Like, if there wasn't glass there, it would have hit the guy. And he was like, fuck you and fuck your order. Get out.
Fuck your sub.
And then so the guy tried to order from me. He tried to order from my other coworkers, and Josh was just like, no, absolutely fucking not. You are not serving that asshole. Like, do not fucking serve him. And I was just like, bet, dude. Like, okay. So that guy had to sit there in the restaurant and watch his coworkers eat. But from that day, I did learn a lot about being a manager, because that was like my first management position I ever had. And then I had a moment like that, like several months into my career there. One of my coworkers, he became a shift lead, and he had a roommate. Yeah. And we would be open until like probably 2 a.m. on game days. So I would do a lunch rush, have an hour off, and then do whatever. Mm. And this kid, he waited 40 minutes. 40 minutes just to place his order. And it's chicken. And chicken takes, at least in my time when I was there, it took 7 minutes. You had to cook both sides, 3 minutes, whatever, send it through. And so I'm taking orders. He comes up in 5 minutes. He was like, where's my fucking food? And I was just like, brother. Do you see this line here? Like, I got more people to focus on than just you. More importantly, do you see the people still waiting ahead of you? And he was like, that doesn't fucking matter. My roommate works here. And I was just like, okay, fuck it, whatever. I just ignore him. 5 minutes later, he's like, where's my fucking food? and I'm losing my patience at this point.
No shit.
Because, you can't just stop taking orders.
Exactly.
And I'm just like, man, just calm the fuck down. It'll be out. It'll be fine. Another 5 minutes. You already know how it goes. Where's my fucking food? And I'm like, man, I'm just now wrapping up these orders. When I find your ticket, I'll make it for you. Okay? Like, I'll personally make it for you. It won't be a problem. It'll be out. And so I start working the grill. My coworker starts taking more orders, even though we told her not to. So that was just a fucking pain in the ass. And I get to his order, and just as I'm about to fucking start making it, he's like, where's my fucking food? Like, we're just watching me cook. And I'm just like, I just tune it out. And then so he goes to my coworker and like has her pull me off the grill while I'm making his sandwich to talk to him.
We serve food here, sir.
And I was just like, what's up? What's going on?
What do you need?
He's like, it's been 25 minutes. Where's my fucking food? And I was just like, listen, man, you waited 40 minutes to order. We have to cook chicken this way. We have to cook it that way. And he just cuts me off. And he's like, I know how this works. My roommate works here. Like, I know it shouldn't take this fucking long. And I'm just like, you know what, motherfucker? Like, literally what I said. Like, deadpan, everything what I said. I was like, you know what, motherfucker? You know what I'll do? Your food is on the grill right now. It's raw. I will take it bare hands, and I will force feed you raw chicken. If you want your fucking food that fucking badly, I will give you fucking salmonella. Now, either sit down and shut the fuck up or get the fuck out. And...
Hey, motherfucking man, he's saying the shit that every customer service person has wanted to say to every shitty customer.
But you know it's bad when his friends are just like, yeah, dude, fuck you, stop doing that. Like, everyone.
That's sad.
Everyone heard it. Everyone heard me say that shit. And he was just like, but my roommate works here. And I was like, hey, man, I've been to your house. I know where you sleep. I know how to get into your house. If you don't leave, I will follow you the fuck home. I literally threatened the guy just to follow him home.
Fuck it.
Because, like, at that point, I just didn't give a fuck, man. I was just like, I'm tired. It's 1 a.m. You're drunk. Get the fuck out. And so I finally go back, and I turn around, waving a knife. And I'm just like, I'm making your sub right now. It'll be out in 7 minutes. I will hand it to you. Please just shut the fuck up. And
have a seat and a fucking bench,
and then
bitch.
He muttered some shit under his breath and sat down, gave him his sub. And I gave it to him. And he was like, thanks.
Thanks.
And I was just like, you're welcome. And then the next day, my friend that was his roommate comes in, and he was just like, I just want to apologize for his behavior. And I was like, it doesn't mean anything coming from you. But if he wants to come in and apologize, like, I'll be willing to fucking squash this. Because, like, I handled it wrong.
Right.
He handled it wrong. And then 5 minutes later, he comes walking in, you know, head down, whatever, and he was like, I'm sorry. And I was just like, you know what, man, like, I apologize too, dude. Like, here you go. Like, just don't pull that shit again.
Yeah.
And he didn't. And he didn't. But I guarantee you, he's never done that at a restaurant since.
Oh, probably not. You probably scared the fuck out of him.
Yeah, well, like, it just goes back to, like, you don't know who the fuck you're fucking with, man. Like,
No shit.
I've seen coworkers get threatened, their lives threatened over, like, ketchup packet. A ketchup packet.
People are wild. That's like when I worked at Panera. I'd always have people flip absolute shit if we ran out of fucking baguettes. This is my question to the general public. Why are y'all so fucking obsessed with Panera baguettes when them shits are so hard and crusty anyways? The only thing they're good for is scooping up the damn mac and cheese that's left over in the damn bowl. But other than that, you try to bite into that shit, you're fucking...
I've never had Panera baguette.
They're, like, don't get me wrong, they're good. Like, when
good.
you get them fresh.
Yeah.
But, like, man, you're having to fucking, like, rip it off like fucking jerky and shit. Shit is tough. Alright, your customer of the week.
Yeah, back to the customer of the week. I had a family come in on Saturday. They were, like,
Yes.
one of my 8 o'clocks. And they were super sweet.
Yeah.
I mean, like, as sweet as could be. And, you know, I'm walking to the range being like, hey, guys, you ever thrown before? And they're like, yeah, we've thrown at dueling axes. And I was just like, oh, aren't we fancy?
Competition.
So, you know, I coached them up just a little bit because they coach a little bit differently than we do here.
Oh, yeah,
And they have
yeah.
different axes and
Yeah.
stuff like that. And they're just super sweet, super nice. They're polite, whatever. And around like 9:30, I want to say, I sit down with them because I was talking about Worlds, World Championships and
Right.
stuff like that. And the father is just like, oh, so you're really good. And I was like, well, not at hatchet, but like, yeah, I'm okay. I'm decent. And he was like, I'll give you 3 throws to impress me. And I'm just thinking, like, impress you?
For
Like,
why?
Like, I'm getting you to stick. Like, that should be more than enough. But, of course, I rise to the occasion. And I take a warm-up throw, and I hit a bullseye. And he's just like, "What?" You know, like, yeah. He's like, dude, that's fucking metal. That's fucking cool. And I was just like, oh, he's into it.
All right, bitch.
And then he was like, you get 2 more practice throws. And I was like, all right, cool. And then I threw a kill shot. And he was like, what? Like, no way. Like, we haven't hit that tonight.
Little John. What? Okay.
And I was just like, yeah, cool, you know, like, thanks, man. Like, to me,
Yeah,
to me, it's just a kill shot, you know? And then so I take my 3rd practice throw and I do it backwards, 15 feet. And I swear to God, I almost gave that poor man a heart attack.
He's sitting there just shocked.
He's like, that is crazy. I need to learn how to do that. And I was just like, fuck, just that excitement.
Yeah.
Man. And so I worked with him on it and gave him my axe because he wants to learn how to flick like I do.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
also
yeah.
like that. And believe it or not, like, he fucking killed it. Like, he nailed it. Like, he got the 15 feet. And the daughter is just like, you just made my Father's Day. Like, that is so fucking cool. And, like, I'm thinking to myself, is this like a date? Because word for word, she was like, you impressed my father. And I was like, do I get to marry you now?
Do I gotta buy a ring? Shit.
Of course, I made that joke, and her husband is there. And he was like, hey, man, cool. And so we get down to talking a bit more, and he was just like, said back in my day a few times. He was like, I used to throw axes back in my day, like way before all this stuff. And I was just like, yeah, you guys had to make your own axes, fucking breaking tree branches, sharpening rocks and shit. And he was like, yeah, exactly. And he literally used to build axes with like shit like that. And I was just like, this is
rocks and shit.
And I was like, this is so fucking cool. And they just really made my day a lot better. Mm-hmm. Just because, Saturdays were one of those days where I was just like, it's kind of nice out. We're...
I'd rather be outside.
It was just me and one other person, which is fully manageable.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like, is it 10 o'clock yet?
You're looking at the time.
Yeah, but after that, when he said that, I was just like, that's so fucking cool, man.
Yeah.
I was just like, I just made his day. And he was like, we're definitely going to be back. Like, we want to join leagues. And I was just like, Swaddle, man, Senior World Axe Throwing League, dude.
I always forget about Swaddle.
He was so cool, though. And
We interrupt this broadcast for Baked Beyond Belief.
Been seen. What are you guys waiting for?
it's still
You
casual.
waiting
What are you
for a
guys
cab?
waiting for? They're in like a taxi area.
No shit. What do you think, bro?
Yeah, we're
Who you
for
guys
cab right
waiting
now.
Where you from?
From LA.
LA.
Why don't you just fly?
I'm from LA.
Where are you guys from? LA. That sounds so forced. LA. And then it just cuts to them like, what? Why was he asking them that?
No, like, why did we need to know that?
L.A. Is that going to tie back into the Mind Freak? Do you think?
I know you're flying home to L.A. Not at all, boy.
When I met him, they showed him a card trick, and it was actually pretty cool. But I'm thinking to myself, you just saw his show. He's an illusionist. He's a mind freak, and you're gonna show him a card trick. Now, I think that's really cool.
Right.
But then in the back of my head, I was just wondering, like, thinking, what would happen if Chris Angel was just like, what?
Wouldn't you shit?
Right?
One of the biggest illusionists in the world, and he's surprised.
Fooled by a card trick, just being like, what?
Oh my god!
Eat in your mind. What animal are you thinking of?
Let me tell you.
You want me to tell you?
I hate that nothing more when I'm doing magic. I'm just like, yeah, show me your card. What was the name of your card? You want me to tell you?
Yes!
And it's just like, well, yeah. Like, no one else will be amazed.
And just me and you, bitch.
Just like, no, just fucking shit. Like, sit there. Like, don't say it. Fucking idiot. You want me to tell you?
Tell me.
Aren't you supposed to tell me? I tell you right now.
All right. You know what? Let's try that.
It's like, all right, fine. Fuck you, bitch. Get ready for this. I'm the mind freak. Just puts his hand in his pocket, walks away, kicks rocks. Fucker.
Fucking bitch.
Tell me. Get mind freak.
Are you thinking of a cat?
Oh my gosh! Oh my god!
I thought that said cunt.
That's even funnier, but building up all that fucking drama and shit. Are you thinking of a cat? Are you thinking of a cat?
It's the most fucking basic ass fucking answer.
No, don't tell me. Are you thinking of a cat?
Wasn't in there when we were in the car though. Oh my god!
I wasn't in there when we was in the car though.
I feel like that's how you know it's scripted though, because that wasn't in the car. Like,
You didn't do it right. You gotta get that accent there. That wasn't in the car there before.
Let me ask you,
That
why
is
did
crazy.
you think of that animal for?
I love cats. I have a cat. She has a black cat at home.
I see. I see.
That is so
Yeah.
cool. That is awesome.
I love cats. I have a black cat.
or something. Mom was
That's
just like,
awesome.
put this right on the fridge.
That's
That is
exactly
so
what that
cool.
sounded like.
I have a cat too. You know, like.
Toddler speak.
Are you thinking of a cat? That's gonna kill me for the rest of my life. Are you thinking of a cat?
Just fucking wiping the window.
You know, I didn't even ask for a tip for them because I was just like, you know, I got the chill.
They were the tip.
I actually got the chill for like a half hour and talk with them because at that point all our reservations were in.
Right.
Just hanging out. But yeah, that customer really made my day.
Dude, it's always nice to have those groups that make what is possibly a shitty day into a better one.
Yeah.
That just kind of brighten up your day.
Well, I had a group. It was one of those days where sometimes people just can't comprehend what you're saying.
Yeah.
That was
You're
one of those
speaking
days.
words, but they're not registering.
I had to explain to them 4 separate times how the rings work, like how scoring works. And
I've had to
again-
do that a lot as well.
and again, like, I was patient with them. It was her birthday. I was just like,
There's a lot going on.
Yeah, I'm just like, it can be overwhelming, you
Yeah.
know? And sometimes I stand in front of people when I coach, right? This was not one of those times.
That's why do you think I never, now that we got rid of the dividers, I never
Yeah.
coach in front of people anymore.
And I was coaching this young lady, and I'm just like, put your dominant hand on the very bottom. And she grabs it, and she goes like this. I was like, no, the very bottom. And I tap it when I go like that. I'm like, no, the very bottom. She's like,
The lid.
Lid. Exactly. And my favorite thing is when I've had to physically move the axe to the very bottom, and they're like, oh, why don't you just say so? And I was just like, I have been.
I did, but...
And then I'll go like this. I'll be like, right on top.
Dude, I know. I'll sit there and be like,
Yep.
wrap it around.
they'll
Then they keep going like this. And I'm like, wrap around!
And at some point, I'm just kind of like...
Firmly grasp it!
And then it clicks, and they're like, oh! And I always make the joke, I was like, did someone sign your waiver? Please tell me someone besides you signed your waiver. That usually gets a laugh out of them. But a lot of groups were like that. A lot of groups. I was just like, man, I have back-to-back reservations. I cannot be sitting here explaining how to grab an axe, right?
For 30 minutes.
Right? I was just like, come on, man.
Firmly grasp it.
That nice weather melts people's brains, man. I swear.
Yeah, the brain just shuts off. Like, yeah, you might be out of school, but that summer vacation still sticks with you, and your brain just shuts off for 3 months.
Well,
come on, bitch.
Speaking of us fucking throwing, we threw like ass. Like actual ass, bro.
I don't know what. I was so pissed because when we were practicing, bitch,
bro.
We were hitting that shit, and then we threw like shit, and I was like, how the fuck did we go from getting 5 6s together, but then now I'm getting a 0? I literally hit outside of the fucking target. When the fuck has that ever happened to me? Unless I dropped. Never. Ever. That was devastating.
It's practice syndrome, you know, you overpractice.
Dude, we didn't even overpractice. We threw like what? Maybe like 7 times?
Yeah.
We just shouldn't have practiced at all.
We shouldn't have.
Maybe that's just what we need to not do, is just not practice before we do our matches. Because holy fuck. That's also why I'm worried about fucking competing too, because whenever, of course, I hit a 2 or 3, I'm like, oh! I don't want to piss anybody and waddle off by just being like, oh shit.
Well, it's not over-celebrating or over-distracting.
It's not, because I'm self-deprecating.
Are you going to Riverbend?
I don't think I will, because that's this month, isn't it?
24th.
I don't think I'll be able to pull it. But I definitely do want to try and go to, what's it called? Throw-Ohio, yeah. I definitely think that should be one that we do a duels tournament to.
Get ready for the embarrassment.
That's my purse. Taking on Throw-Ohio, you know what I'm saying? Hey, it'd be worth it, though. Say fuck it, you know?
Well, I mean, it's just the great sense of community and seeing everybody.
Because I definitely, and plus I'd like to get us to be kind of good at get in the tournament circuit.
Someone has to practice more.
Just fucking... yes, and I suck ass. I need to fucking get back. But my hatchet game is getting better though. Me throwing hatchet, I definitely want to get into the hatchet circuit this year too. But yeah, Riverbend is definitely not going to be the one I go to. But
it's gonna be a fun one.
It'd still be good.
But yeah, that's our second episode here, guys. We're gonna wrap up here. Next week we'll have a very special guest, near and dear to my heart. You might know him, you might not, but at the end of it, you're going to remember his name because he is an amazing guy.
Very memorable.
Yeah, that's the word. That's the word for it. If you guys have any suggestions, please leave them down in the comments below or leave them on my Facebook, her Facebook.
Instagram, TikTok.
Shout out to everybody that watched and left some feedback for us. Most of it was negative. We are, as we just said, we're going to be getting guests on here and everything like that. And the main focus, this is one thing I wanted to kind of clear up before we wrap up here. The main focus of this podcast is not to highlight just the throwing, because there's a million podcasts out there that have guests on and they talk about their process and they talk about the stress, the kill shots, the bullseyes and stuff like that. And I think that's very integral of an axe throwing podcast. But I feel like ours is personal. It's gonna have some axe throwing in it. Like obviously we're gonna have our guests kind of break down their process and stuff like that, but we're gonna keep that to a minimum and get to know the person behind the axe. But we hope you guys enjoyed the video. I am no longer high as a kite.
It's worn off for him.
Yeah, thankfully. And we'll see you guys in the next one. Awesome. Once again, my cock feels like corn.